Catus Maximus here. This is another promo product, but I did take this from the... Initially I thought it was a strange website called Hekka, wanting a multi-port charger. Saw this thing for 35 bucks and actually got it, and surprisingly enough it's actually worth it, and it's actually worthy of showing my viewers, all y'all, what I got for $35 retail. It's actually really competitive. It's a 100-watt LCD display charger. It actually, we have a simple little manual. They have a variety of versions of this thing, but we can actually see, checked in the box here, this is the 100-watt version. This is 100 watts total output, although I don't believe that it can provide 100 watts out at USB-C. It does use a figure-8 power cord. That's what we have in there. It includes a protective sleeve because it is also a 10-watt wireless charger on top. So it has a Qualcomm quick charge port. It has a USB-C power delivery, and then it has 4 additional USB Type A ports. Pull it out of the little bag. And as far as me believing it will actually deliver the power, just the mass of this thing is actually pretty surprising. This is a pretty heavy unit, and what really kind of got me about it was the fact that, one, they have a sticker here that's supposed to help lift and pull off protective film on the display, but that doesn't work, but that's obviously not a very big deal. What I did find interesting is that it does indeed have a backlit LCD display, and it displays volts and amperage for each port. So it's 100 watts, and it will actually shut down if you totally overload it. It only advertises, actually it'll probably be easier to read here, that it can only deliver up to 1.5 amps at 9 volts out of the USB-C power delivery, and the same thing out of the quick charge, and a 10-watt wireless charger. It has this weird thing, I don't even know what this is, input varger. I don't even know exactly what that's all about, to tell you the truth. Maybe they're meant to talk about the wireless charging, but we'll do a little test to see if at least we'll dump 12 amps at 12 volts, or excuse me, 2 amps at 12 volts. And what I found is that either something gets lost in the translation, but many of these devices, when they say they only deliver 1.5 amps at a particular voltage, they'll actually deliver far more. But I kind of like the fact that it has a figure-8 plug instead of a permanently attached power cord, so you don't have to worry about dealing with that so much. And it is a super tight, actually the figure-8 cord that comes with this thing, I would actually say fits too tight. Alright, here's the web page about it. The one thing I was going to mention here is that they supposedly have all sorts of levels of protection, and I guess that's just about it. The one thing I was going to show is that they do indeed up here talk about it only having, 1.5 amps out the USB-C power delivery and the Qualcomm quick charge. So other than that, I did want to show that the LCD is designed for this to be on the table and for you to look downwards at it. But one thing I didn't like is the fact that it is just so dim. They have backlights on each side but not in the middle, which is just a little bit frustrating. But when I don't have such bright lights on, I guess it's okay. And that's the real reason. It's just that this thing is neat because it shows all the volts and amps. One thing I was noticing is after about like 3 or 5 minutes, it turns the display off unless there's a change. You unplug or plug something in. But when you do like a wireless charging here, I thought it was kind of interesting that it does actually display the wattage that it's delivering through the wireless charger. And it lets you know if like the case that you have is a bit thick, and it's, that would be the reason why it might be slow wireless charging. We can see we can be between 4 and 6 watts, so I thought that was kind of neat. And as with many of these devices, kind of have a short cable here, but I have a DJI charger, and this is one of the things I wanted to point out here. Is we go to 12 volts, and it only advertises it being able to do 1.5 amps. And I've noticed it's not just about like these Chinese ones. All sorts of chargers advertise that they only deliver 1.5 amps, but they actually go much higher. We can see that it actually does like a little battery fill up thing, which I assume it just watches the current, and then as the current drops off, then that's how it's identifying. But we can see now this is already delivering 2 amps out the quick charge, so you know, well exceeding its specifications. And that's just an issue. Something about the way design and engineering teams and then marketing and advertising teams communicate and work in China causes these huge disparities between what the product actually does and physically does and what they advertise it. And many times, like in this, they're actually underselling the product.